Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Cordray, for being here today. Would like to be able to explore just a couple issues with you. Recently, you were testifying today that the CFPB is taking some steps to be able to mitigate some of the criticism that you regard in some of the, is it the TILA-RESPA rule, is that how it's referred to?
Yes.
And it being 1,099 pages, and you put up a blog post that it was actually only 400 and some odd pages, and the rest was regulatory, just to be able to get some definitions out. Did you get feedback, and can you understand that for small businesses, when we start issuing 400 new pages of regulatory requirements, that this actually becomes a burden?
Let me say several things. First of all, to sort of correct the record, there's about 200 pages of that is the rule. There are about 200 pages of guidance that we included in particular in response to input from small providers who told us that absent guidance and clarification on things, they found that they lost time trying to figure things out, trying to interpret it. That's what I referred to, up to half an hour per real estate closing multiplied by millions of closings. So what they told us, and it's kind of counterintuitive for me, I mean, I'd prefer to have short, simple rules, but these are complicated matters. They have asked for more detail, more specificity, which ultimately means more pages, in order that they won't have lots of questions afterwards. And by the way, if we issued a short rule, simple rule, but left things vague, what happens is everything still has to be figured out. It gets worked out on the back end. It often involves litigation. It involves going into court to get a court to tell you what it actually means. That's expensive for businesses. It obviously takes time. There's uncertainty all during that time. You know, a comparison I would make is the U.S. Constitution. It's a simple, very elegant document. For 200 years, courts have been construing what it means, and there's a huge amount of pages now that have been generated by that. What industry has told us, again, it was contrary to my initial instinct on this, was if they can have more specificity and clarity up front, then there'll be less to argue about afterwards, less litigation, and also more certainty for them how to proceed. So, again, optically, I don't like the look of a longer rule, but they have told us in some respects that makes their work easier.
And with respect to your statements, did you do a cost-benefit analysis on this?
We are required by our statute to do an analysis of the burdens, impacts, and benefits of
what did that show?
Any rule. Beg your pardon?
Are you doing that now?
We have been doing that. We have to do that at the proposal stage, so we have done that. We have to do that as we go, and we absorb.
Just out of curiosity, what are those costs going to be?
Well, I think the costs are the ones that people told us about. First of all, there's always a transitional cost with any change, even when you streamline.
Do you have a dollar amount?
Which is, well, there's a lot of analysis provided in the rule. I would hesitate to summarize, you know, what is, as you noted,
ballpark?
Hundreds of pages. Well, there are costs that are implementation costs of making a transition.
Right.
And then as we go,
ballpark figure.
Important to recognize here, as we go, since we will have integrated these two forms, as Congress has been wanting to do for 20 years, and nobody's succeeded in doing it yet, that will mean less cost per individual real estate
closing. So you
closing.
don't have an actual dollar number, a vague dollar number?
There are dollar numbers provided. Again,
that's what I was asking.
Okay. I can refer you to our rule, and you can, your staff, there's different dollar figures for different kinds of providers.
Did you get us those dollar figures?
Beg your pardon?
Did you get us? I just curious.
Sure.
In terms of
but what I wanted to note was, over time, this is going to save money.
You're 101 million. Does that sound familiar?
That's a potential figure, depending on what assumptions you're making about who uses vendors and who does things on their own. But again, there's going to be a savings, sir. It's important to realize.
I'd like to be able. I'm going to
integrating these forms.
Here, okay. At the beginning of your statement, you'd noted, made the statement, critical for people in government to know what makes small business grow. And you talked about access to capital. If those dollars are being spent more and more on regulatory compliance, $101 million, is that draining money out of resources that can be applied to be able to grow jobs, to be able to get people back to work and get this economy moving? Okay.
So we're talking here about a multi-trillion-dollar market for real estate transactions.
My world, millions of big dollars.
I understand. But it's not like there's $1 million falling on each business. That's not what we're talking about here. And there's going to be savings in each real estate settlement closing, each one over time, that will pile up year by year by millions of transactions, and that needs to be taken into account as well.
Actually, we received comment, and I believe you probably have the written testimony as well from the realtors, that they are concerned about this rule, who's going to have to be filling out the forms, what some of those costs are actually going to be, and I think they're deeply questioning a lot of those actual cost estimates that are being taken so for granted by the administration.
Well, we have met with them, and we welcome their input, and at this point, this is at a proposal stage. It's not yet a final rule, and so everybody's going to have a chance, including what I hear today, but also as we go through the notice and comment process, to give us their input, and we will take that into account on the final rule, including from the realtors, settlement agents, all of the people involved with these transactions. Yes, yes, sir.
You know,
Sure.
With your permission, Mr. Chairman, just okay. I yield back. Thank you.